mic at it.
Right.
I was waiting on Paul, but he didn't share, so I will close this out. A couple of things came to my mind. I didn't learn this till later in recovery, because I've been to thousands of meetings on ego and how ego is portrayed as this terrible thing. We must be rid of it. And the fact of the matter is that we cannot be rid of it, because the definition of ego is how I see myself. The real question is, how do I see myself? When we talk about ego, we talk about a falseness. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's false. It's not real. At the same time, we come in with this, I'm a piece of shit because I'm a failure, because I've either fumbled around and fucked this thing up and have a pocket full of white chips, or have thrown away opportunity after opportunity in real life, and I don't feel like there's anything left to live for. That's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way to look at myself. I have looked at myself that way. I've looked in the mirror and said, you piece of shit. I don't know if anybody else has looked at themselves in the mirror and talked like that. I remember. These steps assist me in having a better way I see myself. I see myself as a child of God. I'm a work in progress. I'm not a piece of shit. It's easy to have mantras. You could just go read a book and start mantraing yourself. But what I have to do is put action in life and begin to do some things that fly in the face of those lies I used to tell myself. And then it becomes true. I can truly feel like I'm a better person than I was when I got here. But that only comes from doing action. We can talk about it in meetings. But there's other 23 hours of the day that it takes to make it actually happen. I think that's important to say. So ego is not all bad. It's how I change the type of ego I have. Because we will always have an ego, because we will always see ourselves a certain way. The next story is about a fellow that, and this story cannot go unsaid, especially in NA. This is an NA story. This is the late 80s. A guy named Biker Bill. Nobody knows who Biker Bill, maybe one. He was the quintessential NA member, big biker guy with chains and shit, and everybody followed him around. Not necessarily because he said cool things in meetings. I don't think he could spell steps, but he looked the part, and he scared everybody because he was huge, and everybody said, oh, he's a badass today, man. Well, everybody followed him around anyway. Biker Bill got high. And the first ever halfway house was called the Rip House in Birmingham. It was called Recovery is Possible. And Bill went there and he died after using that night at the Rip House, and then it became Rest in Peace House, and it closed up soon after that. But they had a big funeral, and I'm telling you this story for a reason. So they had a big funeral, and they had the wake or whatever after the funeral, the after party at his old lady's house. That's what he used to call her. I mean, I always thought that was disrespectful. I mean, you know, what the fuck, Bill? Anyway, whatever. I don't guess he's doing it anymore. But anyway, after the funeral, everybody went to Bill's house, and 10 of them got high. Like this wave. You know why? Because if Bill can't do it, we can't. Oh yeah, true story. Oh yeah. It wasn't about the quality of his program. They put his ass up there on that pedestal for no fucking reason. And if you've got a quality program and somebody's up there, and you begin to rely on them, and the fact that they're there, you begin to thrive on that, and their presence tells you just without a word that it's possible. And then they get high. That's what happened to all those 10 people. It's a true story. I didn't make this up. You can't make some of this shit up in recovery. So what is my lesson? I don't care who it is. I don't care what they say, how they sound in meetings, how long they have. If they get high, that's on them. And the real trick here is to have your own recovery and stand on your own 2 feet. Because I can't rely on anybody. I can't put them up there. Fuck that guy. Bye. Especially if he's going to disrespect you enough to come over and rub it in your face. I mean, I don't even like the way it sounds. Fuck you. I don't want to know who he is. You know, that's how I feel about these people. If they don't want what we have, then get the fuck out. That's how I've stayed here. And learning from people like Biker Bill and the 10 that followed him. What a joke. You know, so, I mean, we get passionate about this is because maybe some of these people that have stayed around, maybe we get tired of seeing so many come in and out and just talk about it and never really afford themselves the opportunity to work these steps and maybe build a life worth defending. I don't know if that means anything to anybody but me, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's got somebody's attention, and that's what my job is. Okay.